How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Rocky Mountain EDC channel. So it's come to my attention that in the knife world or the knife space, the EDC community, the knife community, whatever you want to call it, right? The people that like or enjoy sharp objects that have blades on them, right? That in the past couple years, we have been in a time of extreme growth with the number of options in pocket knives. Not just pocket knives in terms of folding knives, but also any type of knife category, right? Whether it's bushcraft, whether it's multi-tool, whether it's really small, really large folders. There's so many options. And one of the knives for me that when I first started getting into this that I saw and really was interested in and wanted to get and saw tons of videos on about how it was so amazing and that it was the best budget, high quality budget EDC knife. And that's the Civivi ELEMENTUM. Now, what I want to talk about today is 5 reasons why the Civivi ELEMENTUM is still worth buying in 2024. Now, with the Civivi ELEMENTUM, right, it's an older model. At least when we talk about the base model itself. The classic ELEMENTUM has a flipper, drop point, hollow grind blade, and again, there's a lot of different options for that. Now, they have the ELEMENTUM 2 button lock. They have I believe now they have a Wharncliffe ELEMENTUM. They have the classic button lock ELEMENTUM, which is just a button lock mechanism only. They even have a utility blade ELEMENTUM coming out, right? What I'm talking about is just the standard classic ELEMENTUM, the one that you see on the table, right? This nice design. Now, the reason why I want to make this video is because, again, with the high amounts of new products, especially from even the company itself, Civivi, right? Coming out with so many designs, but just designs in general coming out from companies. That over time, right, there was a point where everyone was saying, this is the best EDC pocket knife for the price, right? And then a new knife comes out and they're like, no. This is the best knife for your money on the market right now. And that happens all the time, right? At one time, the Spyderco Tenacious was probably considered the best budget pocket knife or for EDC that you could get. And then a new knife comes along and people say, you know what? No, never mind. This is the best one. So that's what we're going to get into, right? I still think this is worth buying in 2024. Right? And I'm not talking about all the different variations in terms of the different models of the ELEMENTUM, just the standard model. So let's get into the first one, number 1. If it works, don't change it, right? If it works, it works. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? The Civivi ELEMENTUM got its popularity due to its very simple design. And yes, there are new designs coming out that are simple, also affordable, right? But the knife itself and the design has not diminished in its quality, okay? So the first one here is it's a good design. It's small. It has just under a 3-inch blade, which is going to be really good for a lot of different places where you have those blade restrictions. It's going to have really good ergonomics. It's going to have nice milling for the weightness, right? At least in terms of the Black G10. It's going to have a nice slicey hollow grind. It's going to have a drop point shape, right? This is going to be very good for a lot of standard tasks. It's going to run on ball bearings and have a very reliable action to flip open, right? It's just a good design. It's simple, right? It's not the most appealing design, right? They do have some nicer options here, but it's just simple and it still works, right? It works. It's worth buying. in that regard. So the first one is the design itself is still good. It's going to be amazing. And again, a lot of the new knives that are coming out that the Elementum set the standard for, again, this is what set the standard for a lot of these newer knives that are coming off very similar to the Elementum, right? Reliable lockup, you know, that's another thing. The design just works. So that's the first one. 2 is the number of options you have just with the Elementum itself. Okay, so the Elementum, as you can see right here, I have 3 variants of the classic Elementum. I have the standard D2 and black G10, right? This is very, very vanilla when it comes to the Elementum, right? You have that option. But if you don't like that, that's okay. You can get the carbon fiber and Damascus, right? A little bit of a different aesthetic, a little bit of a different design. Or you can get the copper and black coated D2 blade, right? So there's even more options than this, just in the base model, not talking about the Elementum 2 or the button lock Elementum, right? Or the Wharncliffe Elementum. But they have a lot of different options, so there's variety. It's a simple design, but if you don't like the black G10, guess what? You don't have to get the black G10. There's a lot of different options. It is very diverse in terms of the variety of options that is available to the consumers, right? So that is very nice, right? Again, I have a small little collection here of just these 3, and it still feels like it's the same knife, it's the same profile, it's the same design, but I feel like when I hold this one, right, it feels like a different knife, right? When I hold this one, it feels like a different knife. It's light. It has a really beautiful Damascus blade on it. It has a smooth design. It feels very sleek, right? This one feels basic, feels sturdy, feels reliable, right? Nothing crazy. It's not flashy. It's basic, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is the price point. The Elementum, right, again, with all the different options it provides in terms of the different styles here, is the price point has relatively stayed stable. It's stayed around the $50 mark, right? At least in terms of the cheaper option you can get. And again, it can range, right? Change out the materials, change out the steel. It's gonna vary a little bit in the price, but for the most part, the price has still stayed competitive. They haven't jacked up the prices just for the heck of it. So the price is still competitive. I mean, this knife is essentially operating and being sold as if it's still 2017, right? As if it's still when the knife came out. So that is nice to know, right? It's still affordable. It's not that just because all these other options are coming out, right, that the Elementum is obsolete because it's too expensive now. There's better options for better prices. And you could argue, yeah, there are some things, right, that are going to be cheaper, right? But when it comes to knives that are trying to be very similar to the Elementum, because everything's going to have a caveat, right? You might get something for $30, right? But it might be missing a little something extra that the Elementum is going to offer at that price range, right? And the variety. Maybe you can find a $30 knife that's similar to the Elementum, but does it have the variety of the Elementum, right? Is that knife going to change in its price? Is it going to get jacked up, right? The Elementum has established that it is a reliable and stable in the market type of knife. So number 4, this is going to be that the aftermarket customization, because this knife has been around for a while, the aftermarket ability to customize the Elementum is crazy, right? It's going to have a lot of potential to get aftermarket scales, aftermarket hardware, aftermarket pocket clips, right? It has a lot of that variety and option, which again allows you to customize the knife itself. You can, if you like the Elementum, but it's missing something, you don't like the pocket clip, well, guess what? You can get a new pocket clip. Okay, you don't like the options that Civivi gives with the scales. Okay, you can get some aftermarket micarta G10 titanium, right? It has those options, right? So because it's well established, you got to remember that, right? It's well established that it's going to have a lot more potential in things like the aftermarket aspects that other knives can't offer yet, that aren't getting to that point, right? So the knife is still worth it in 2024 for that regard, especially if you want to change things up, okay? The last thing, the fifth thing on the list for why you should still buy the Civivi ELEMENTUM in 2024 is if you like it. Do you like the Civivi ELEMENTUM? If you don't like it, then obviously this reason isn't going to apply to you, right? You don't have to get it. You can enjoy whatever knife you want. But if you like the Civivi ELEMENTUM, but you feel pressure that the industry, the market, other YouTubers are telling you that, oh, this knife is obsolete now. It's cool or whatever, but you should probably just get this new flashy one that just came out. Well, the same person that's telling you that you should get this new flashy knife right now because the Civivi ELEMENTUM's obsolete, right? A day later, they're going to tell you, oh, no, that knife I just showed you, no, you need to get this knife. This is the next new knife, right? Stop doing that. That is good in terms of giving out information, right? What's being out there. But just saying, oh, not good, next one, bring it in. Oh, well, okay, there's a better one now, right? That's going to happen. The market keeps changing. There's new products coming out every day, right? The Civivi ELEMENTUM, if you like this knife, if you think it looks cool, if it fits in your budget, you like the design, you like the aesthetics, and you want to get it, it is worth getting in 2024. It's worth getting in 2025. It's worth getting as long as they keep selling it, right? So that's a big thing. That is the 5 reasons why the Civivi ELEMENTUM is still worth buying in 2024. We have to be careful with what people tell us, right? You can't, if you like something, you enjoy it. That's the biggest thing for me. So those are the 5 reasons. The Civivi ELEMENTUM is still a great knife. Yes, there's lots of different things out there, but it still works, right? If you think about it, we have so many options, right? You could argue to the end of the earth, to the end of time, right? What's the best knife? What knife should you get? What knife shouldn't you get? This knife is obsolete, right? If it fits, it ships, right? I mean, come on, it's basic logic. So that's my 5 reasons. You guys can disagree, you can agree, but I still think that the Civivi ELEMENTUM is worth buying in 2024. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Rocky Mountain EDC channel. Thanks.